he was also from 71 to 72. He was project engineer for the Alma County project. That was right after his college years. So at this time, I want to introduce Mr. Al Clay, who's our new city manager, and y'all give him a big welcome. And by the way, to start with, we'll be March first. Thank you. It's an honor for me to stand up and introduce you.
Don't know quite what to say, just glad to get back. We're glad to get here, and we'll be, in the first few weeks, working out that transition and all. Anyway, glad to be back home, because we were in the old city hall down the way back in those days, and all this has come a long way. My first projects were the airport, we was building that industrial park, and then building that first treatment plant, and some of those things, and finished getting a lot of the streets paved. So, since to watch all this, of course, I've been in and out since 1971, and if our two boys drew a picture of where they thought the home place was and all that at Christmas, they draw a picture of Charles and Leona's house up there on 12th Street. That's where they've always, they would think that's where they've got roots in Kentucky. That's where they think is the home. So we've had lots of connections. It's good to be back. We'll work out our transition in the next few weeks and get started. Look forward to taking a tour with each of the elected officials of what they see, and also the department heads. And two or three ideas of things I want to just see to get organized, and then we'll catch up with the agenda. We'll have a retreat at some point and set some goals and try to get moving forward. Always like to work for a group that leans forward in the future. Any questions? Greg?
How long is it going to be before you and Mary move here?
Headquarters in charge of that. And she's already got plans. She told me on the way up here, next time we come out here from every trip coming up here, it's going to be a car load, so she can drop them off. We'll probably finish our lease up down there end of March and be here. She'll figure all that out. She's the seasoned one for that.
But what year were you here before, Al?
I came in 1971 as a project engineer, and I left at the end of 74 and went to Waycross for the month. But I came manager about a year after I got here. Mr. Nixon was retired, and I had been to, I had worked with y'all, and we were also mapping all the water and sewer. They didn't have any maps, just what Mr. Swindle could remember, and that kind of thing. So, and I'd worked with him, and then Mr. Nixon had a heart attack, and I was off from Army training, and I went off for that thinking I was going in for 3 years. They got there and they said, this war's over, 72. Some of us, we were all going home unless we just insisted on going in. So I'll call and see if I get the job. And the mayor called, Mayor Bishop called, about 3 weeks later and said, Nixon's had a heart attack, why don't you just come on down and work the city and keep up with all this model city stuff too? They bring me all these contracts to sign, I want somebody to read it.
So that was under Mayor Bishop, you said?
Mayor Bishop, right? Yep. Like Willie Nelson's been on the road a long time.
What do you see as the biggest thing that's changed since you've been gone here now?
On the business base and all that, the industrial park and those kind of things that work, y'all, it's gotten beyond agriculture. Tobacco was a big deal. All these tobacco warehouses were in here and all that stuff. That's gone with the wind. There were some other guys that were working with Dr. Brightwell over at ABAC, and he'd done all these 20 years of studies on blueberries, and he told them, said, look, it's a perfect place, it's perfect soil, and you can be on the market 2 weeks ahead of all those people in the north, and and with the right varieties, you can be on the market 2 weeks after, and you can become a big player. And so they staked that, and I think EC Lock, and so those folks took a chance and cleared off and put in some experimental plots and started growing them. And now, I mean, it's just amazing. Been out some of them, they got 300-400 acres, and these new facilities here, and it brought a whole new economy. And thank goodness, because all that tobacco died. But I used to go down to Beal's drugstore to get a slaw dog, and they knew the price of corn and tobacco. I mean, everybody knew what that meant, because that meant what to the merchants and everybody else.
but it's moved on, and there's more diversity here. So I think that's helpful. And Tommy Smith and some of the other legislators worked with the local officials, and the transportation is much improved with the divided 4 lanes and all that sort of thing through here. A lot of things. Satella's rebuilt their headquarters. DLE moved across to a modern plant. It's come a long way.
Another thing I'd like to say, Al has experience with the Main Street program and also with the downtown development authority, so that's something that I've been interested in, but we just have not had the time to, bring that to fruition, so I'm looking forward to, picking his brain for some ideas to see what we can do with, our downtown community as far as, marking it area, getting some stuff downtown and that sort of thing. So I think he's gonna be a big asset with, that as well as a number of other things. Being a Georgia Tech graduate is bringing that to the table and working with Carl, that's gonna be a big asset as well. So we're all excited, we're all looking forward to having him on board with us.
Well, it's not a question, but I would compliment the mayor and the council for the selection, because I think that's a good selection. I really do. I don't know who the other applicants were, now I'm not criticizing them, but.
Oh, I would be glad to tell you how that works. As Bernita's here, what we do is, we make a packet of applications. We send it to each council member, the number of resumes that we receive. We go over them, we give them to the council members, they grade them, they give them back to us. And my plan was to go with the top, the one that had the most votes. And that was Al. And then I thought we would interview Al, and then we would keep going to interview others. But once we got to Al, everybody was on board and excited to get him back, so that's what happened.
And all that,
That's a good selection.
that took place Monday night. You know, I learned years ago, news is news when it happens. So when it starts, you can't put it in a bottle and put it on a schedule. It just happens when it happens. Look forward to working with all y'all. Run an open record system, transparent.